Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Eidolon Wall. It's hard to believe I'm in episode 14, so thank you everyone who has been watching these podcasts since the start. And today is going to be another good episode as well. First off, let me just get some nice background music going. Just set the mood. Um, there we go. But yes, guys, we have a special, a sort of special episode today because we're going to be talking about a topic I've wanted to kind of discuss with people for a while, because it's a theory I've had for a while now, and and I figured why not discuss it with two FF7 lovers or Zack lovers as well that I knew. First off, as well, guys, please let me know how the music is. If it's not overlapping me, if you can hear the music in the background, fine. Please let me know. But yes, welcome in everyone, and once again, thank you so much for joining. But yes, I would like you guys to say hello to my. Don't hear the music at all. That's annoying. Hang on. Bear with me, guys. Let me just. Oh, okay. It's not overlapping. No, it's not overlapping me. It's very faint. Okay, how's that? Is it overlapping? Is it good background noise and that? I also want to make sure I get it right. Okay, all good. I'm guessing. Right. Anyway. But yes. So of course, as you can probably see, I'm not alone here. Like I said, I have two Zack lovers and Planet 7 lovers here with me. So, please say hello to them. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And yes, please say hello to my friends, guys. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's the music I had to go for, you know? A soldier. Exactly. We had to go for price of freedom when it comes to Zack. But guys, so yes, please say hello to my friends. Someone who's new to the podcast and is our first time on the podcast. A very lovely friend of mine, all the way from down under. Don't know why I said like that. Yes, please welcome again an amazing person. And please go check her out as well, Azza the Ace. Yeah, so please feel free to introduce yourself, Azza. Yes, we do. We do. Oh, oh, that's weird. Uh, hang on. I know why. I think I know why. Yeah, no, I know why. It's because I don't have the group chat up, and I keep forgetting I have to do this every time. Okay, right, yes. So yeah. Sorry, guys. OBS didn't want to fricking go to the Discord group I'm part of with these guys.
Well, damn. That's unfortunate.
So yeah.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I loud enough?
Oh shit.
Am I loud?
Yes. Can you guys hear them?
Hello? Hello?
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello, hello, hello.
Got a lot of technical difficulties.
Hey,
There we go. They can hear him now. Yes. So sorry. If you want to feel free to introduce yourself again, Azza, as well. Sorry.
no worries. Hi, guys. I'm Azza the A. Some people call me Azza. Some people call me Ace. Well, not so much. But these two dearly beloved friends of mine also refer to me as Azza. So I mainly stream a variety of JRPGs. Variety of variety of games, mainly JRPGs. And I have been on break for a bit, but I am returning and hopefully I'd be able to do it frequently. But whilst I've been on break, I've had the great privilege to watching these guys' streams. They're dearly beloved friends of mine. I love them so much. I appreciate them for their support. And I am a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. I love the Final Fantasy VII series. I could talk about it non-stop. And so, yeah, I'll be probably talking a lot.
Yes. So go. Yeah. So please go and check out Azza. And like I said, she is a very amazing person, very lovely person, and I think you guys will have a lot of time, a lot of fun times in her streams when she comes off her hiatus. But for my other friend, he has been on the podcast before when we spoke about Rebirth with Neon Genesis. Please welcome one of my best friends and a man I lovingly call the Fart Knocker. So please welcome Borna Kokiri.
Hello. My name is Bono Waluigi. Okay, no, not really.
Jesus.
No, not really. But yes, I go by Bono Kokiri or Kokiri for short, or how my close friends call me, the Fart Knocker. But yes, I am a content creator, now officially a retired Twitch streamer. I streamed on Twitch for 8.5 years, and yesterday was my last day of doing Twitch streams. But now I am transitioning to making YouTube videos on my off time if I can, when I can. So now I've been working on I've been working at a full-time job since September of last year, but yeah, I do a lot of people know me as Mr. Zelda, but I do a lot of voice impressions. So if you guys love all things Legend of Zelda, I'm your man.
Yes, and he also has his own podcast. Well, 2 podcasts. The Kokiri Chronicles, where he talks about all things Zelda, and the Palpu Scoop, which you can find on his YouTube channel, which has the same name as his Twitch, Borna Kokiri. Yeah, so please go and check them out. I myself have even been on a few episodes, and it has been a great time, great watch.
Yes, and I just uploaded a new Zelda episode today. That was from yesterday. It was a topic on are the Oracle Zelda games underrated.
Yeah, I've never played them myself. Oh yeah, I've never played them myself.
I'm just noticing on my stream that you've got my profile icon on there, so you guys can clearly see I'm into the Kingdom Hearts series, the World Ends With You series, the Zelda series.
Yes.
I'm also a fan of the Fire Emblem series and just so much more.
Yes.
Azza is cultured.
I've been gaming since I was 2 years old.
Same.
Oh yeah.
But yes.
Actually, not even. I think I was almost 2 years old.
Yeah, I was the same. I think it was the first time. I think it was Crash 1 for me. I first played. But yes, let's go into why are we here.
Yes.
So, like I said, we're here to talk about Zack. Because in the game of Crisis Core, there is a term that pops up called the Gift of the Goddess. And there's multiple theories throughout the game of what the Gift of the Goddess is. And hopefully, we will, in this episode, delve into the theory of, was Zack the true Gift of the Goddess, after all? But before that, Azza, why don't you, ladies first, of course, why don't you tell us, how you discovered Crisis Core and your thoughts on it originally?
So I believe 2007, I was still in high school. Funny enough, I was gifted Crisis Core and I didn't have a PSP yet. So when I eventually got it, it was my very first PSP game. And I just fell in love with it because I was already a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. I was very intrigued with the prequel, how everything came to be, because it is a missable thing in the OG. If you don't go to the certain places after you've done a certain thing, you're gonna miss it. So just hearing the backstory of Cloud's best friend Zack, and just learning about him, he's such a lovable character. I love him so much. He's so entertaining, and funny enough, I got to probably closer to the end bit, and for some reason, I was just stuck for, I don't know why. And then I come back to it later, and I'm like, this is all I had to do? And I'm right at the end. What the hell?
Yeah.
So yeah, when I got to the end, obviously very emotional, but like, you know, because I played the OG, I knew what to expect. Um, and so yeah, and then just discovering like Cloud's backstory too as well. Yeah, I'm such a huge JRPG story lore person, so just seeing all of that come into light and understanding everything, I'm just like, oh, this is so good. And we get a bit of Sephiroth's backstory as well, and to see that he did have friends at the time.
Yeah.
But yes, just learning all that lore and backstory, I just adored it so much. It was one of my favorite, probably my favorite PSP game. But yeah, it's just become, yeah, one of my favorites out of the 7 series. But I actually just rate the entire Final Fantasy series as a whole. I can't do top 5s and stuff like that. It's just really hard for me to do.
No, that's understandable. There is a lot of entries. Mine myself, Final Fantasy 9 is my top one and will always be my favorite game of all time as well. So, but no, I can
That's
definitely
like,
see, like,
if I had to, that's like my second one. I
ooh,
almost like,
good
yeah,
choice,
it
good
is,
choice.
but
I
it's,
approve.
yeah, it's just, it was kind of my second Final Fantasy game I finished, and I just loved the story,
It
like,
is
and just
beautiful.
everything about it. Yeah, but like then as soon as like Final Fantasy 16 came around, I was like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, it was. It was good. It was good. But what about you, Kokiri? When did you first discover Crisis Core, and what were your original thoughts on it?
Um, so honestly, I did not play Crisis Core growing up, but I was familiar with the game. Obviously, I was familiar with Final Fantasy VII, the original. I mean, for me, I told people this before, but I did not get much involved with Final Fantasy, or mostly Final Fantasy VII. Like, I played my first game in 2020 when Remake came out. I mean, I will say this though, back then, I did own the original FF7, and I still have the box for it. I don't know why I
Nice.
never got around to it back then in 2015. But ever since then, you know, I became a fan ever since. And then, of course, I remember I did my first playthrough of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and from fans I learned about Zack, and I was like, okay, yeah, he seems like a really cool guy. You know, he's definitely a character I can vibe with. And then I've had people tell me, it's like, oh, and I knew that Zack had his own game. He had Crisis Core and PSP, and I was like, well, shit, I'm not going to be able to play this game because I don't have a PSP anymore. And then when they finally announced that it was coming to PlayStation, I was like, yes, I can finally play. I can finally play it, mostly Reunion. And I played it, and I was like honestly, I get it now. Like, I get it, like why people mostly associate with Zack more than any other Final Fantasy character. I was like, dude, I get it now, and I totally understood it.
Oh yeah, like,
But honestly, Zack is
oh yeah.
so cool. He is definitely as a character I do vibe with, for sure, 100%.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people vibe with Zack. He is one of those characters where he's, he's very upbeat, he's very positive, optimistic. You know, he tries to see the good in things. I myself discovered Crisis Core when it first came out, and I had my PSP around then. I remember my dad bought it for me for my birthday, and I fell in love with it as well. I also recently got my hands on the 10th anniversary Crisis Core PSP as well, which you
Oh,
guys can see
nice.
here. Like,
Nice.
and it is really cool. It is really cool.
I really wanted that when that came out.
I only yeah, it is pretty cool. I got it from for £60 from a friend because he gave me a massive discount.
Nice.
Nice.
But yes, like I said, we are going to talk about Zack being the gift of the goddess. Now, in Crisis Core, the main villain is a guy called Genesis, who has no real place being in the game, let's face it. And he is obsessed with this play called Loveless. And Loveless talks about a story about three friends who each go for different stories, different journeys. And the goddess who brings her gift to the world at the end of this story. And Genesis, like many of people, have theorized what the gift of the goddess is. With Genesis thinking that the gift of the goddess is a materia that takes the energy of the life stream and gives it to him at the end of the game, to where he becomes the final boss. But after reading Loveless myself, I came up with this theory years ago, and I never really got anyone to speak to it. There's a lot of parallels to Zack in the Loveless play, and in the screenplay and in the script. Zack himself thinks that the gift of the goddess is a fruit called Banora White, which can grow anywhere. Something simple, because it shows that's how Zack is. He's a simple guy, he's got lofty goals, lofty ideals. He's just a simple guy. But the first parallel I want to say that really makes Zack potentially the gift of the goddess is the way Loveless is scripted and the way it parallels with Zack's journey. With the prologue reading, "When the war of the beast brings about the world's end, the goddess descends from the sky. Wings of light and dark spread afar. She guides us to bliss, her gift everlasting." Now, this is parallels to Zack because the War of the Beasts could be seen as Genesis versus Shinra, Genesis versus Sephiroth and Angeal and Zack, and that this could be the War of the Beasts. And of course, the goddess does descend from the sky at the end of the game. After you beat Genesis, she descends from the sky and Genesis gets to see her. But it's the wings of light and dark that are the parallel to Zack here, because he goes against Sephiroth, who has a black wing. He goes against Genesis, who has a black wing, but he's also the student and the friend of Angeal, who gets a white wing. So you've got white and dark wings spread, and those wings take Zack to all sorts of places. Modeoheim, Nibelheim, Banora, they spread afar. But so that's the first parallel to Zack. But what do you think, Kokiri, about the prologue there being parallel to Zack?
I think it's really, really interesting. Now, I'm gonna do my best to talk about it because I actually haven't played Crisis Core in like 3.5 years.
You're all good. Don't worry.
I need to come back. But
no, that's fine.
Honestly, I think it's a really good, interesting play because to me, when I first heard it, it kind of like, I always like question like Genesis, like dude, why is he like keep on explaining this play like over and over again? And it kind of got me thinking, thinking about what you said. Like, I feel like that, like when he explains it, it's to me, I find Loveless to be very foreshadowing in a way. It's very foreshadowing because it kind of tells you, it kind of gives you like a hint or like a warning, like oh, this is going to happen or this is going to happen, and it just, I don't know, like every time I just heard him recite the play, like to me, it just got me thinking as so like what is he talking about? Or what is he referencing? Or he's trying to tell me something like something's gonna happen, and then of course, it's like you say, later we do find out that he does become the final boss of the game, and so that was like, oh, surprise.
Oh yeah. Like, there's definitely that like little like surprise in there. But what do you think, Azza, about that parallel to Zack and him being the gift of the goddess?
Well, I think so with the play, rather than okay, it is somewhat foreshadowing, but I always felt like the play was like a prophecy, which I think is how Genesis was interpreting it as well, because there is this line where he kind of references it towards him and Jill and Sephiroth, like. I know one of it was one will become the monster, one could become the hero. I forgot what the middle one is. And so what that is kind of like a prophecy towards them. But then when you understand and see I believe there's all these tablets around when you're going to find
Yeah.
Genesis in Benora. When you read those, you start to realize that the gift of the goddess isn't something that Genesis thinks it is. And I believe what when he kind of, well, he doesn't pass, but he is defeated. He has that realization that the gift of the goddess is being the pride of a soldier, which is why I think it's also parallel to Zack. Because just everything that he's done throughout this game pretty much proves it.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, especially the pride of the honor, pride of the soldier being the gift of the goddess. There's definitely some good hints to that may be it as well, because the game is very much about your honors, your pride as soldier, and your honor as soldier and such. And for Zack, it's a very important thing. He sees himself as a soldier, but not in the usual sense. He wants to be a hero. So I think the pride of the soldier, that definitely is a very good way of interpreting the gift of the goddess that maybe Genesis missed. There's another parallel that makes it seem like Zack is the gift of the goddess to me anyway. Is also in Act 1, which shows things that happen to Zack when you really look at it. Particularly the second part of Act 1, which is 3 friends go into battle. One is captured, one flies away. The one that is left becomes a hero. And that at first Genesis thinks that talks about him, Angeal, and Sephiroth. But it could actually also mean Zack, Angeal, and Sephiroth. Because you could say Angeal is captured. You could say Angeal is the captured one. He was captured by Genesis, even though he went willingly. Or he was captured by his own degradation. Sephiroth could be the one that flies away. He flew away from Shinra and broke off on his own as the one-winged angel. And then, of course, Zack is left to become a hero, which he does indeed. And again, going in with what Kokiri said about foreshadowing, this foreshadows Zack beating Genesis and becoming a hero, saving Cloud, saving the world, and dying later in the game. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it. Dying in the game to protect Cloud. So there's definitely that foreshadowing there as well. And throughout the game, Genesis thinks also that the potential gift of the goddess are the S cells that Sephiroth has, and are then later implanted in Zack and Cloud. This is, of course, he then changes his mind to the materia, but the S cells themselves, with Zack being the gift of the goddess, there's still an interesting way of looking at it. Because, again, Loveless seems to parallel Zack's journey. And especially when his connection to Genesis. Because Genesis himself he knows he's degrading, he's becoming a broken soul. He is just corrupted for a sense. And a lot of the stuff he says to Zack in the game can also be seen as a parallel to Loveless as well, because he's constantly trying to tell Zack, Shinra will betray you, they will see you as a monster, they'll throw you away, blah 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 blah. And Loveless Act 3 parallels this by saying, my friend, you fly away now to a world that abhors you and I. All that waits you is a somber morrow, no matter where the winds may blow. And and Genesis isn't wrong there, because Shinra do end up betraying Zack and just using him as a test subject. And Loveless even parallels Genesis as well by saying, my soul corrupted by vengeance. Genesis wants vengeance against Shinra, but he also wants to cure his degradation. And he is a corrupted and halting soul. And it seems like his only way is for to try and make Zack go for his eternal slumber. And he also tries to, another parallel is he tries to make Zack, he tries to convince Zack that his honor means nothing, his dreams means nothing. Because he says, my friend, and it parallels Loveless by saying, my friend, the fates are cruel. There are no dreams, no honor remains. And he's trying to say to Zack, that that there are no dreams, there are no honor. His dreams and honor mean nothing because he is just just a simple human. But what do you guys? What would you think, Azza, about the way Genesis tries to he tries to convince Zack that about to abandon his dreams and honor, and the parallels to that with the loveless play.
I I think basically I think throughout his entire life he hasn't been treated well, and so of course he tries to convince Zack that about how Shinra is using him and just like treating him like he's just a toy and all that. And yeah, for a while Zack does like it does set him back a bit and be like, what do I do? What do I do in this situation? Do I keep going with Shinra? Do I divert the path like Genesis wants me to? But he doesn't really consider that until like the very end, when Shinra is actually out to get him and Zack because they think they're a threat 4 years later. And so yeah. Sorry, what was the question again? I just lost track.
What do you think about Genesis trying to make Zack see that his dreams and honor mean nothing, in parallel to Loveless?
Let's see.
Would you like me to ask Kokiri what you think, or?
Yeah. I'm just processing. Sorry, I'm a bit slow.
No, you're fine. Yeah. What do you? The same question to you, Kokiri. How do you feel about the parallel between Loveless and Genesis trying to make Zack doubt his dreams and honor?
Like when I, again, like I was saying earlier, like when I was thinking about when I first heard Loveless throughout Crisis Core.
Yeah.
Is I feel like again like everything just felt very foreshadowing, and I honestly, I totally see what Genesis is trying to do. Like he's trying to make connections with, I guess in his case, he's trying to make connections with reality and a play together. So kind of like how you were saying, like the three friends and all that stuff, and like one is going to survive in the end. I feel like it's just like he's trying to make things a big connection, and I feel like that's kind of the way, like in terms of Genesis's character, is that I just feel that, like, to me, Genesis mostly defines connection. Because he with him having the one winged and everything, he's got his connection with Zack. He has his connection with Angeal and Sephiroth, and now he has this connection with this one play that he's really obsessed with. So, honestly, like, I just feel like in terms of Zack's case, like, like Zack and tell him, and I'm sure he probably did a few times. Again, it's been a long time since I played Crisis Core, but I'm sure there probably was a few times where Zack is telling him, it's like, you're crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and of course, obviously, Zack being the optimistic kind of guy he really is, he's the kind of person to where it's like I want to live the life my own way. Like, I'm not gonna have to, I don't want to do this because some play kind of told me to do it. I want to do it because I do it. I guess in his case, it's like to you do what you want. But back to Genesis, like, again, like the whole obsession with Loveless and everything else, like, Genesis's character, to me, in my opinion, is just connection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was going to go off by saying, yeah, with the connection, I think that's his only source of safe space, if you think about it, because throughout his entire life, he I believe throughout his entire life, probably ever since he was injected with the G cells by Hollander, he has no feeling of security, and he feels like everyone's betraying him. So he feels like Loveless is his only source of relief, I guess, and reassurance. So he tries to make sure like that everything plays out as the same as Loveless, and he just has that sense of a little denial what it truly means, I guess. So that's why he's trying to convince Zack about how everything is wrong and all that. And yeah, of course, like Zack just doesn't want to believe it because he's just so optimistic. And I think as he is degrading, he becomes even more denial, trying to make everything excuse me, everything happen throughout the play. And yeah, I think in that case he does feel misunderstood, and it's understandable because he's lost trust with everyone. Like he even killed his parents. So yeah, that just goes to show where his mental state is as well. So everything's all clouded to him. He's like, no, this is how we're going to get the gift of the goddess. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to betray everyone. I'm going to convince people this play is like true, the truth and all that. And yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely see what you mean. Like, yeah, like it's like he's trying to reenact the play by making Zack suffer and doubt as much as these people in the characters in the play did. Like like the one that like is left becoming a hero. You know, he went for a hard journey trying to become that hero. So no, I get what you mean there. Yeah, like, you know, he's trying to convince Zack, you know, and trying to make him doubt and that. But obviously Zack, you know, being the optimist, he stays strong. He stays towards his path. Because and you what you said about killing his parents as well. Yeah, like Zack, something that Zack finds out as well, and he's actually very understandably angry about. And it goes in with Loveless. It even goes in with Loveless as well, because the soul corrupted by vengeance. And, you know, he's half endured torment, find the end of the journey in his own salvation and your eternal slumber. And that line parallels Zack as well, because obviously Zack does have the eternal slumber. You know, Genesis has the salvation where at the end, you know, Zack beats him. He takes him up to the surface. He gives him and Cloud a Benora White each. And Genesis, he talks with Zack, but there's no anger. There's no resentment. There's just peace. Like there's calm and peace, as if Genesis has finally realized my heart is calm now. My heart is I no longer fear degradation. And so you know, there's that salvation, and then of course later we have Zack's eternal slumber. But yeah, and something that the another parallel with it as well is that that hints at Zack possibly being the gift of the goddess as well, is my friend, your desire is the bringer of life, the gift of the goddess. Legend shall speak of sacrifice at world's end. And of course, as we know, Zack does this. He doesn't bring life, but he protects it. Like, you know, he protects Cloud. He protects Aerith when the Angeal clone, you know, barges into the church. But mostly Cloud. And then of course, after protecting Cloud, Zack does die. You know, he at sacrifice at world's end. You know, it's the world's end for Zack, because, you know, his world is now over. And so this hints at him possibly being the gift of the goddess, because you know, again, he protects the life, he brings the life into the future. Like, you know, he brings life back to Cloud, who was in a coma, and even gives Zack and Cloud a new life by giving him the Buster Sword and saying you're going to be my living legacy. And again, there's the bringing of life that the gift of goddess has said to bring. So it's another way that Zack is possibly the gift of the goddess, because again, that parallel, that sacrifice of his, then brings life. And another one of the biggest parallels going with Zack's death as well, is within Act 1 as well, is infinite mystery is the gift of the goddess. We seek it thus and take to the sky. And as we see at the end, Zack, as he ascends into the sky with someone who can only be assumed to be Angeal, because we see a white feather drop. This is another parallel to Zack possibly being the gift of the goddess, because, or allude to Zack being the gift of the goddess, because again of this act, the journey is over. He's found the gift of the goddess, but the mystery, there's still the mystery, like Genesis is still wondering what is the gift of the goddess. Zack's even probably still wondering what it truly was. But and it may be a mystery that never gets solved. But then of course again, Zack takes to the sky, like in Loveless. But what do you guys think about this moment, and how it goes with Zack possibly being the gift of the goddess? What do you think, Kokiri?
I think it's really interesting. It's like, this whole thing, like what I was saying a while back, was like, Loveless is like a massive connection.
Yeah.
There's a connection with everything, and I guess Zack trying to understand, maybe to him, is in his mind it can probably be maybe I am this gift of the goddess, or maybe I'm not, but at the end of the day, because it's like you were saying, at the end of the game, Genesis is, he's very calm, and he's collective,
Yeah.
but because to me, I feel like that, this is now in the way of acceptance. It definitely is one of to me, it's to me, with all of this, it's I think you can say it's probably one of the, it probably foreshadows one of the 5 stages of grief, which is acceptance, because you definitely see them obviously go out to the heavens, and Zack, going out to the heavens at the end of the game. So I just feel like with Loveless, I feel like the true ending is of Loveless, or you can say the gift of the goddess. I guess that is a symbolism of heavenly acceptance.
And it's like Zack as well, he also accepted, he at the end, he accepted that, he didn't know if he became a hero or not, but he accepted that he at least saved someone. He saved someone. He saved Genesis. He technically saved Genesis. He saved Cloud. He saved Angeal. Because Angeal was able to fight Zack with no more resentment or anything. Because it's what he wanted. So I think you definitely have a good point there with the acceptance, the 5 stages of grief, the acceptance with. Yeah, and again, not even just Zack, just Zack did as well.
It's that closure as well.
Yes, yeah, definitely the closure of again, it's just he Zack even says after he beats Sephiroth, and that he even says, I have to stop Genesis. I've still got one more thing to do, which is stop Genesis. So there is definitely the closure. But
would you say, sorry for interrupting, would that mean if he truly is the true gift of the goddess, that is why he is able to kind of intervene Cloud sometimes in the OG, where he's warning him in certain cases, and all that through that? Or would you say that's just Cloud thinking of him in his head and whatnot?
No, I would say no. You bring up a very good point there, because yes, it's not made clear in the original game until you get a little side story explaining it, or no, until you get to a certain point in the game and you find out why Cloud's memories are not matching up.
Yeah.
And it is, but for anyone who does, for anyone who, just for anyone, those voices that Cloud hears, the start of the game saying this isn't a normal reactor, that is Zack talking in his head. We're not unsure why. We're not unsure how, But yeah, that is Zack talking in Cloud's head. And so yeah, Zack, that could be another way Zack is the gift of the goddess, because he, now that he's become the true gift of the goddess, he's able to connect to talk to Cloud, who he has that connection with, the connection that Kokiri spoke about, like that. He's got that connection with Cloud. He's able to talk to him. He's able to guide him through his life like a gift of the goddess would. And
through the live stream too.
exactly, yeah, exactly, because Zack does become part of the live stream as well. Like with anyone in Final Fantasy 7, he does become part of the live stream. And this is also the first time in the Final Fantasy series that we've seen someone actually in the live stream actually contact someone outside of it in some shape or form. Zack's the first person to do this. Even Aerith didn't. She heard the voices of the live stream, but they were just voices that cry out naturally. But Zack is the first, and as far as I know, the only one that actually communicates and talks to someone from the live stream, thus adding to the potential, that's the possibility that he is the gift of the goddess, the only being that can do it, because he has obtained that role as the gift of the goddess, that status as it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Arza, as well? Sorry.
What was the question?
Sorry, yeah, sorry.
I kind of sidetracked with what I was saying.
No, yeah, it ties in what you're saying. What are your thoughts on, Zack being the gift of the goddess in the live stream, and his death where he takes to the sky and that?
Yeah, I guess as Kokiri was saying, is like that connection, and I think by the possibility of being the true gift of the goddess, that is, as I was saying, probably his way of connecting and try to make things right in the world, I guess, through Cloud, and probably just a source of protection towards Cloud too, because he's not really he is observant to some degree, but there's just some things he just doesn't know how to approach, and that's where Zack kind of tunes into him. He wants to make sure this whole war between Shinra and Sephiroth is being put to an end, because I believe he's not even aware that Cloud actually struck Sephiroth down before they were in the Marco containers with and being injected with S cells. So he thinks he probably still thinks he needs that sort of protection, and I guess encouraging Cloud to defeat Sephiroth once and for all.
Yeah, like a divine kind of like a divine being would, like a guardian angel kind of thing, because Zack is very much a guardian. He protects Aerith. He looks after Cloud. Even when Cloud's just a simple infantryman, he guides Cloud. Or when they're about to go into the Nibelheim mission, all that. He says to Cloud, "So you want to be a soldier? Hang in there." He guides Cloud, and it could be seen that with him being the true gift of the goddess, that's also part of his his role in the natural world, to guide the next hero, to guide the next hero to find that gift or to protect the world. Excuse me. And so it's definitely that. And it's like you said, he didn't actually see Cloud strike Sephiroth down, and so he has no idea. And it's even in Advent Children as well. Even in Advent Children, we see little scenes where Zack is still watching over Cloud. For anyone who has seen it, you will see in some scenes, Cloud, there's a wolf just standing next to Cloud, or standing next to Zack's grave where the Buster Sword is impaled. That is Zack. That wolf is Zack. And Zack even shows up at the end in the complete edition. Zack shows up at the end to give Cloud that final push. He gives him that guidance, and again, a guardian angel, gift of the goddess. He gives him that guidance, because in that battle, Cloud isn't just protecting the world; he's protecting the children of the world. The children that he takes care of. You know, he's doing what Zack does. He is protecting life, protecting new life, new life. He's protecting like life that can grow and shape the world. And Zack does obviously appear. He appears in this fight, and says to Cloud, so you never made it in Soldier, but it's what's in here that counts. And then he says to yes, Cloud, do you need some help? And then he just basically says to Cloud, go get him. And it's like that. It's like that part of it's like Zack knows at that part he's done his job as gift of the goddess. He's helped bring new life. He's helped cultivate a new hero. And at the end, it's like at the end of the film, you see him and Aerith walk off. Aerith, of course, saying everything's all right, and Zack just gives him a wave. And there's a wave, and if you look closely on Zack's face, there's a proud smile. As if to say, it's your turn now. And it's like Zack's passing the torch, passing the gift of the goddess. Like Cloud is now, blessed by the gift of the goddess. And Zack definitely guides Cloud. Like I said, he guides Cloud throughout the whole thing. But what do you think, Kokiri, about Zack potentially being like a guardian kind of angel for Cloud?
Honestly, I do see it. I really do see it. Like that's definitely as his role as like the gift of the goddess. So one thing to keep in mind is like ever since so let's kind of rewind it back a little bit. I'm trying to and maybe you can correct you two can correct me, but it was on that it was in that snowy area. I want to say in like chapter 4 or 5, right? What is the name of that place?
7.
It was a snowy area. It's where Zack finally meets Cloud for the first time.
Medeoheim.
Medea.
Yeah,
That's right.
Medea,
Yes.
that's right.
So I feel like that like let's take it back here for a bit. Back to that position to where everything changed when those two first met. Honestly, like you can see the way how like they were both clicking together, like both him and Cloud. The whole like say, oh, where are you from? Like, oh, I'm from Nibelheim. What about you? Me, Gungaga. And they were kind of quick, and they were like clicking it off so well, like really good friends and all that. And then like ever since the whole, at the end where Zack is like where he gives Cloud his Buster Sword when he passes on, because like he says, oh, you're gonna become my legacy. And there is another thing that he says when he gets Cloud the Buster Sword, he says, my dreams, they're yours now. That is something to keep in mind. That quote defines everything, saying like to him is saying like, I've done my part, now it's your turn. And I feel like that's, to me, that's kind of like why, like back in like it like jumping forward to where Cloud is like, now he's taking on the role as a hero, I guess, in his own way, is because it's more idolizing. Because think about it, he's doing everything that Zack would do, like kind of look back into the memories, like in FF7, like where he's doing, like you see like a memory of Cloud in that truck like on the way to Nibelheim with Sephiroth. He's doing exactly what Zack is doing. He's doing the squads. He's like, oh yeah, we're going on our first mission.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be great. It's more idolizing it. So to me, I feel like there's definitely like a connection. There's definitely a strong connection between him and Zack, and and to me, the best way I can describe it, it's kind of like how, like he is like maybe I kind of feel like there's a part of Zack, like that's kind of like inside Cloud's heart. I mean, even though Zack may be gone, but like his memory and like I guess you can say part of his heart, Zack's heart, is in Cloud. It's kind of like the way, how do I describe? It's kind of like the way like how with Sora and Roxas. Like Sora is definitely he's his own kid. He's the Keyblade hero who's known to be like friends of everybody. And then of course, you know, there's Roxas, who definitely has like his own backstory. He's gone through a lot. He had to sacrifice himself. You know, he definitely lost a friend, which was very, very sad. But like mostly during his time when he rested in Sora's heart, you know, like he was doing like there was times where he even talked through Sora, like in Kingdom Hearts 3, like in the Keyblade Graveyard. But what I'm getting, but pretty much where I'm getting at is like, I feel like definitely is a connection between Cloud and Zack. Like why Cloud is doing everything that Zack is doing. So is like, oh, so to Cloud's mind, it's just like, okay, Zack's leaving legacy, so I'm gonna be, you know, I'm gonna be carefree. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna do squats, but you know, I'm just gonna like hide it. I'm just gonna hide those feelings. So I'm gonna be like this. I'm just gonna be like this tough guy and just be like no, not interested, kind of aspect. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like it's like a connection to the heart. I guess you can say. You see where I'm getting at?
I get what you mean. Yeah, there's definitely like, and as we see when Cloud is trying to get his head together, and when Zack talks to him in the reactor and such, Zack is still inside his heart, you know, inside his mind, his subconscious. So you know, I see what you're getting at. It is similar to like Sora and Roxas in Kingdom Hearts. It's like Rapfor in the chat is saying, so Zack is more than a catalyst to Cloud, and yeah, this is true. Zack becomes Cloud's whole being, his whole personality. Like, you know, his memories mixed with Zack's, they get mixed up, and Cloud basically becomes Zack. And it is definitely sort of like a you know, as it is close to, it is sort of, you know, related to, you know, Cloud idolizing Zack. But what do you think as about like Zack being kind of like a guardian, kind of guardian force, like angel to Cloud?
Yeah, I believe so. Like back to Advent Children. Yeah, as Kakiru mentioned before, I believe you see him in a variety of places, and like one in particular that symbolizes that is when the wolf is with the old Buster sword that's rusted, looking out towards Midgar.
Yeah.
And that gives you that message, like that is Zack, he is the guardian. And even though Cloud senses that, he is probably in denial of that. He just thinks he's the lone wolf, and all he has is that huge regret. He could have done better. He could have saved everyone. And I think that's his way of thinking. I could have been like Zack more. He could have protected everyone. But obviously he was getting messages from Erev and Zack from the live stream that you don't need to like you cannot be a hero to everyone, and you just got to forgive yourself and just move on. And so, like, even though Cloud has that realization and closure in OG, I think he still has that sense of guilt and loneliness, and that's why he doesn't rely on anyone for help in Advent Children. He just thinks he has to cope on his own, and I think that's how he's deeply infected with the geostigma. It's that constant reminder, like, oh, this wouldn't have happened if I was stronger, if I was soldier sooner, and all that. And so he probably denies that sort of guidance through with Zack, who's telling him all these messages to let go, move on. You are a hero. You are someone meaningful to most people. Did that answer the question?
Yeah. No, I think you answered the question quite well. Yeah, like it's like you said, you know, there is, you know, like that kind of like, you know, Cloud thinks he's alone, and that He thinks he's alone. You know, thinks he's got to do things for himself. And Zack's, throughout the movie, Zack's trying to say to him, "No, you don't have to do it alone. You're not alone. You are strong. Yeah, you didn't make it into soldier, but again, it's what's in here that counts." And yeah, he's trying. Again, he's trying to encourage Cloud that he doesn't have to be alone.
And with the complete version,
no,
with the Final Fantasy Advent Children complete, they added that. I'm glad they added extra scenes because it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad they added this extra scene where he actually just chimes in the moment has been paused whilst facing Sephiroth.
Yeah.
And he's like, you've defeated him before, you can do it again. Like he's guiding him and encouraging him that you can do this, and you've got the motivation for it now.
Oh yeah.
And then he actually says Zack's line, protecting his honor as soldier.
Yeah. Zack starts it.
Or was it Embrace Your Dreams? I thought it was Embrace Your Dreams.
Yeah, it's something like Zack starts it. He goes, "Embrace your dreams," and then I think Cloud finishes it with, "And protect your honor as soldier." And yeah, there's definitely to add in with Zack being the gift of the goddess. One thing with the gift of the goddess that we've seen with Loveless as well is that it brings not just life, but it brings peace. It brings salvation. Like what it did with Genesis. It brought the gift of the goddess brought Genesis to calm, to peace, to acceptance, and that could be the same with Cloud and Advent Children as well. Because Zack appeared, because Zack appeared at that final battle to help give Cloud that guidance, give Cloud that that strength, that to help him keep his resilience strong. He was able to bring Cloud peace because Cloud was able to finally get clear of mind, clear of heart. He was determined to beat Sephiroth. He's like, I have no doubts anymore. I'm not alone. I'm fighting for my friends. I'm fighting for the world, for life. I've got no doubts about who I am anymore. My heart is at peace. I need to fight and protect what I care about. So with Zack being the true gift of the goddess, that definitely ties in with the whole, him being the true gift of the goddess, because he's brought that salvation that the Loveless has said the gift of the goddess brings. And then, of course, like I said at the end as well, once he leaves with Aerith and he gives Cloud that wave, and we just see Cloud smile and goes, I know. I'm not alone.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, exactly. Zack disappears with Aerith because the gift of the goddess is not needed in the world now. It's helped bring the salvation of Cloud and the world. It's helped bring peace to the world. So, and it can be attributed to Zack being there. And Loveless, even Act 4 of Loveless even foreshadows Cloud in this as well with Advent Children, because the first line is first two lines are, "Even if the morrow is barren of promises, nothing shall forestall my return." And Zack does return. Like Cloud at the Buster Sword, he says, I promised I would live out both our lives." He's going to make that promise. So he feels like that promise is broken. That promise is barren. He's not been able to do it. But Zack obviously does return, to help him out in the fight. And there's definitely, again, the foreshadowing that adds into the whole, Zack is possibly the true gift of the goddess. He is the main gear in this machine that makes all these events happen. Because obviously this all happens in Zack's time and then Advent Children in Cloud's time. But it's the Crisis Core aspect that is the main gear. It's the cog that sets up the machine, of fate. And Zack, and it can also go by, because obviously not just Zack being the main protagonist, but Loveless could be in his journey to become the gift of the goddess, whether he realizes it or not. So there's definitely a lot there's definitely a lot. And finally, to come near to the end of this, because we've been going on for just over an hour now. The last part of Act 4 says, after he says nothing shall forestall my return, it says, "To become the dew that quenches the land, to spare the sands, the seas, the skies, I offer thee this silent sacrifice." And in a way, it is a silent sacrifice, because Cloud doesn't know about Zack's sacrifice until it happens, until it finally clicks, and he sees Zack's dead die in front of him. And then, of course, Zack becomes the dew that quenches the land. He becomes the part of the life stream, thus completing the gift of the goddess. Zack's not just a hero of the story. He's the gift of the goddess. He's finally obtained it. But for last thoughts of all this, what do you think, Ozza, about, Zack becoming the gift of the goddess at the end, and return to life stream to become the dew? What would you say to all that?
I would say that would be probably the main purpose of him protecting Cloud as well. Like, he hides and actually in the OG he doesn't really hide him. They just assume he's dead.
Yeah.
Because of his Marco state, Marco poison state. But yeah, in Crisis Core, he does hide him under a pillar, I believe, to make sure they don't find him. And I think that was him accepting that he must sacrifice himself to make sure Cloud is protected, that he actually lives his life, because he knows his life hasn't been all that fortunate, especially with the Marco poisoning and all that. So that was him taking a last stand to make sure he's able to live on whilst he takes down pretty much a whole army of Shinra's soldiers. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough in the end. There was probably a few more soldiers, but we only saw 3 who attack him. And I think also, because he has the S cells and the Marco eyes and all that, I think that's why he's able to give Cloud one last message of guidance, because he just assumes he's not able to be a messenger beyond the live stream. So I think that's also him transferring his gift of the goddess to basically set Cloud on a path of living.
Yeah, no, set him a path to living, because living isn't just, being alive. It's, embracing life, enjoying life, walking through life, finding your own way. And yeah, Zack definitely does that by saving Cloud. He definitely does that by saving Cloud. And yeah, like you say, he protects Cloud. There's that. He like you say, he does protect Cloud. And it's at the moment. Sorry, yeah.
I was just about to say, just showing a lightness to the world. There's more than just being a part of Shinra, being on the war. That's why he also tried to set themselves up for living by being mercenary to people who need help. That's always been Zack's kind of optimism, just trying to help people and protect those who cannot fight like he can. And just embrace that new life and just protect the people from Shinra, who is corrupting the world, trying to make something impossible happen.
Yeah, he's definitely, I get what you mean. Yeah, he's definitely helping Cloud, achieve that as well, get started on that path as well, to help people, find their dreams as well. But what do you think, Kokiri, about Zack's death at the end and him possibly becoming the true gift of the goddess at the end of, the story, both Loveless and Crisis Core?
Yeah, I feel like, what I was saying earlier, if you want to combine all of them together with Loveless and Genesis and Zack and pretty much all these people dying, especially with Loveless being the cherry on top of all this, I still think that this I guess you can say this game in a way defines one of the 5 stages of grief being acceptance, because everyone is almost fucking dead in this game. Dude.
On their way.
Dead. But that's what I feel like, that's definitely is to me as one of the key morals of Crisis Core is acceptance. And Zack taking on this responsibility of being the gift of the goddess, such as, because it was traditional, first, when Angel dies, like he becomes Angeal's living legacy,
Yeah.
taking the Buster Sword on his own for his own. And then when Zack dies, he pulls Cloud to say, hey, you're gonna live. You're gonna be my living legacy. And and you remember like if you listen to the tone of Cloud's voice, like he's just like the way how he's like, I'm your living legacy. He's like that tone is he's like, what? Like he can't, like he gives off that vibe, like through the tone of his voice, and like it's just tradition for him, But all this is about like the two ways I can describe all this. This is literally is just connection and acceptance.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and it's like at the end as well, like you said, like you're saying as well. At the end, it's like Zack has accepted his death as well, because throughout this entire game, you can tell Zack didn't want to die. He didn't want to die. He didn't want to leave everyone.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't want to. He didn't want to die. He wanted to be there for Eric because that was, that was the one. Like that was one of the most people that was on his mind. And then like he felt like his world was shattered. Like when he was there out in the field resting with Genesis and Cloud because of all the Mako poison that's going on. And then him losing his mind where he's like, what do you mean it's been 4 years?
Seeing Aerith was like a first priority thing to reassure him that here's what happened. I've been thinking about you all this time. I can't believe it's been 4 years. But yeah, unfortunately that was short-lived.
Yeah. On a side note,
what sorry if I'm butchering this, Rafa was saying in the chat, did Angeal sense that, you think? I don't believe so, because I think he was still in that foggy mind process of like, he's such a defect, he has no purpose in life, he must become a monster. But I think seeing Zack after Zack defeats him, saying, be the person who I wanted to be, be my living legacy, and just be the strong soldier that I wanted to be, but knew I could, and just that realization and closure that like after all this time he wasn't able to do that due to everything that happened to him, and the cause of his degradation as well.
And yeah, it's like Angeal, that acceptance, getting to that point, where his mind unclears and he now realizes that he has to die because he has become a monster, and then making it so, because he could have just let anyone kill him, but no. Sorry, I got a twitch in my hand. He could just let anyone kill him, but no, he waited for Zack. He only wanted to fight Zack. So I think maybe Angeal maybe sensed that Zack was more important than he realized. Maybe Zack had more of a role than he realized. And then maybe he sensed that he was destined for something greater, and that's why he made Zack fight him. He made Zack fight him, and then passed the Buster Sword onto him. Maybe Angeal did sense in a way that, because from what I know, both Angeal and Sephiroth did read it, Loveless as well as Sephiroth. Excuse me. So Angeal knew the story as well. So there is that potential that, that the possibility that Angeal did somehow sense it, and sense that at least Zack had a bigger role in the story than he thought as well. And that's why he passed the Buster Sword onto him, or one of the reasons anyway. And it's something that Zack says in the game as well, going on with the whole acceptance thing as well. When Cisne says about wings, Zack's first response is, that sounds like some kind of monster. But then at the end of the game, he when he gets lifted up into the sky,
he wanted the wings.
He says,
he wanted the wings.
Yeah, those wings, I want them too. He's accepted that they're not a sign of a monster. They're a sign of freedom. And Zack's accepted that, I've done my role. I've guided Cloud. It's up to Cloud now. I've left it to Cloud. And I'm ready for death. I'm ready to move on. And so he lets himself, be brought up into the sky, and be guided by those wings. And of course the feather drops. And yeah, so it's definitely like, Zack's accepted his death. He's accepted his, it's almost like Zack himself has realized he is the gift of the goddess in his last moments. And then that's why he's accepted that death. Like he's accepted, just accepted his fate. But I think we've spoken a lot, quite a lot, quite a lot of interesting things in this episode. And I think it's safe to say that I think it's safe to say that maybe I think we're all we can all agree that there is like a possibility that Zack is the gifted goddess, maybe. And like and like obviously you guys have brought up both brought up very good points to help along with that as well. So of course it doesn't fully answer, is it? But it does obviously maybe shed some light on the possibility that he is the gift of the goddess.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's probably more so a possibility. It may not be the case, but at the end of the day, he was known as a hero.
Yes.
And he did in a way do the things that the gift of the goddess is prophesized to do. He brought the life, he protected it, he and his gift is everlasting. His gift of guidance is everlasting because he's always going to be a cloud, he's always going to be in the live stream, and again, because he's in the live stream as well, bringer of life as well. The live stream creates new life, so that also adds into the whole Zack. Maybe if he's the gift of the goddess, he is a bringer of life because he's helping bring life to the world. Hopefully, to anyone watching this, hopefully we've given you guys some insight to, some not insight, but some thought, to this theory. Maybe you guys have your own theories. To anyone watching this on YouTube, feel free to put your own theories in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Let me know what you guys thought about, what I've said, what my guests have said. Anything that's caught your interest, please feel free to let me know. And if is there anything that you guys want to add on before we wrap up the video?
Zack will always be my hero.
Yes.
Academia.
I will say that I am so glad that they've put the creators have put so much effort towards Zack and his story. It needs to be told, and as I said, the OG, you see bits and pieces, but there's so much missing content you can miss when you play the OG.
Yeah.
And it's not like the remake or rebirth or part 3 will really cover that, especially now. And I'm just so glad that they give more importance to Zack in the remakes and rebirth, because it just brings that lightness and epicness towards the story, and just how much of a duo Cloud and Zack are, even if they can't be side by side.
It's definitely the rebirth definitely did Zack very well, especially at the end, where for anyone who hasn't played rebirth, feel free to mute now. But when Zack appears to fight alongside Sephiroth at the end of rebirth, which was honestly
so epic.
Had me freaking screaming.
Yeah. This was 3 a.m. for me or something, and when I saw that, I was like, I really want to scream right now.
Yeah, I think I actually did scream.
Mind you, I haven't told any of my stream viewers about this, but I did kind of finish it off stream before I streamed the final one. But I was like, I still reacted the same way, because obviously I couldn't react properly at night, because as I said, it was 3 a.m. in the morning or something. So I was like, oh, this is so epic.
It was. And I know you said about in when you were joining me for the rebirth episode as well, Kakiri. I know you said that you really loved when Zack appeared as well.
Oh yeah, I was like, let's go.
Yeah, it's an
and
epic
at the
moment.
At the beginning too, you don't expect it. It's like, what? We get to control him now? Heck yeah!
Yeah, that was, I got to admit, it was a lot of fun. Plus, it was really fun. It was very fun fighting as Zack as well. Because in the final battle, I didn't even control Cloud. When Zack appeared, I was like, nope, I'm playing as Zack. And it was.
You've been controlling Cloud the majority of the game. Give Zack a chance.
It's time for the puppy. It's time for the puppy.
It's we barely did any combat with Zack. It was only at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah, it was a bit so I'm definitely happy with that. But yeah, like I said, I think we've got to cover a lot of ground with Zack, and again, maybe Zack is the true gift of the goddess. Maybe Square Enix did a bait and switch there. Of course, it's all up to speculation, but I think from what we've covered, I think you can definitely see some some parallels and some hints that he is most likely the true gift of the goddess. But yes, I want to thank all of you for watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, I hope that you leave a like and subscribe, and please go and check out my friends on YouTube as well. They are both amazing people, both amazing content. And I hope you guys will join me as well for the next episode. I'm going to do it in February, the 4th of February, where because Dragon Quest 11 because Dragon Quest 7 Remake comes out on the 5th of February, I am going to be, on the 4th, I'm going to be talking about my favorite in the series, Dragon Quest 8. And I'm going to be talking about what is it that makes Dragon Quest 8 a fan favorite? What makes it one of the best and most loved Dragon Quest games? Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this on YouTube, guys. I hope to see you in the next video. And just as Zack says, embrace your dreams. And whether you're a soldier or not, protect your honor. Thank you guys for watching, and take care, everyone.